Dear participants, delegates, and organizing committee members of the virtual International Conference on Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in Life Science 2020. Greetings from Botswana and a very good day to one and all present here. Please allow me to observe the protocol. I am Suresh Shanmugasundaram, professor from Boto University, Botswana. I would like to take this opportunity for inviting me to do this keynote address. It always gives me immense pleasure to have this kind of conversation, and most of the time I say yes when I am invited for such episodes. Please accept my apologies as I could not make a physical presence due to the pandemic situation because of the coronavirus outbreak. I wish I had my physical presence there. I request you to be safe by maintaining a good hygiene to mitigate the spreading of this virus, especially when we are anticipating the second version of the virus. I also take this opportunity to congratulate the organizing committee members for planning and executing such a kind of a technical forum. Okay, colleagues, let me start with my address, the actual purpose of being here. Before that, I would like to present to you the outline of the session. Firstly, it will be an introduction of the country where I am currently residing, and then it will be the introduction of the university where I am currently working. Then we will see what is engineering and technology and their impact on sustainable development. We will also be seeing some examples of AI and its direct impact. And finally, we'll be touching upon the fourth industrial revolution, followed by a brief summation by highlighting the changes that are currently on place with concluding remarks. Okay, let me briefly introduce you to Botswana, and I will not be surprised if I get a wrong answer if I ask you, where is Botswana? This is because I was also ignorant about the geographical facts of Botswana. As some of you might have guessed, Botswana is in Africa. To be even precise, the Republic of Botswana is a landlocked country located in southern Africa. Citizens are referred as Botswana, and the singular form of it is called Motswana. It is interesting to note, as per the list of per capita nominal GDP for countries and dependencies, Botswana ranks 76th in the world by the nominal GDP per capita, which comes to around 7,584 US dollars. Just to give a comparison, India is ranked 139th. Please note that there are 10 districts, with the southern districts majorly populated. About 86% of the country's income is from diamond mining. Yes, the country is very rich and the population is too low, which is about 2.3 million. In terms of the country's vision towards education, the government felt that education and development are indispensable, and hence the students are sponsored to pursue tertiary education and higher education. When I say sponsorship, it includes tuition fees, living expenses, and allowances for buying books and stationery. Just to give you more perspective on the country, I have put these pictures. While the urban areas are growing at a very good pace, the country still maintain its closeness to nature. The northern part of the country has about 300,000 elephants. There is a unique feature when it comes to Botswana's border. In the northern side of the country, there is a border called Kazankula. At Kazankula, the territories of four countries, Zambia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Namibia, come close to a meeting at a quadri point. In fact, I have visited the quadri point which is located in the river. Another interesting point is that this river, which is called the Zambezi River, is the main source of Victoria Falls. I would like to take an opportunity to invite you to this country. It will certainly be once in a lifetime experience. The university where I am working is Botho University. Botho University is Botswana's largest private tertiary educational provider, and it was founded in the year 1997. We have established campuses in other countries like Lesotho, Namibia, and Eswatini. We also provide programs in the distance learning and blended mode. In the picture, you are seeing the aerial view of the Habaroni campus, lecture halls, graduation ceremony, and a shopping mall called Game City, which is at a close proximity to the university. You will also see the flags of Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, and Eswatini, which is formerly known as Swaziland. I hope you had a chance to appreciate Botswana and Botho University. Now, the images that you see here represent something. I would say that in all the images, you can observe a process that involves design or production of things. It could be from any discipline or could be any product. There are definitions that are available for engineering as defined by IEEE, ABET, ABET, etc. However, I always like the simple ones. It goes like this. Engineering is the use of science and math to design or make things. Technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. You can see the difference between engineering and technology, though they seem like same. To make it more clear, engineering is the use of science, technology, and math to design and make things. You saw the images of engineers and technologists in the previous slide that substantiates intelligence and creativity belong to humans. It's quite interesting to see various technological advancements that are currently applied for betterment of communal life. The first breakthrough that I would like to share with you is that all business and information available to society in the real world can be freely controlled through digitized networks. This is accomplished through Internet of Things, abbreviated as IoT. Looking to the future, Cisco predicts that there will be 25 billion devices connected to the Internet by 2015 and 50 billion by 2020. It is important to note that these estimates do not take into account the rapid advances in Internet or device technology. The numbers presented are based on what is known to be true today. The total installed base of Internet of Things connected devices is projected to amount to 21.5 billion units worldwide by 2025. The next breakthrough that has created a significant impact is a big data, where large volumes of data can be analyzed to create additional value. Once global data started to grow exponentially a decade ago, it has shown no signs of slowing down. It has summed up mainly via the internet, including social networks, web search requests, text messages, and media files. Another gigantic share of data is created by Internet of Things devices and sensors. It is predicted that data volumes will continue to increase and migrate to the cloud. An interesting insight is that billions of connected devices and embedded systems will create, collect, and share a wealth of IoT data analytics every day all over the world. Artificial intelligence, abbreviated as AI, is a technical term referring to artifacts used to detect contexts or to effect actions in response to detected contexts. Overall, AI is not as unusual a technology as expected, but this very lack of expected form may have exposed us to a significantly increased urgency concerning familiar challenges. In particular, the identity and autonomy of both individuals and countries is challenged by the increased accessibility of knowledge. From the image, you will observe how AI has impacted our daily lives. The applications of artificial intelligence in the real world are perhaps more than what many people know. For example, Google Maps has brought out the Explorer in every single one of us. Self-driving and parking cars use a deep learning, a subset of AI, to recognize the space around a vehicle. Self-learning machines can analyze data and situations more rapidly and objectively than human beings. You will also see that these technological advancements, that is, a big data, Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence, are interlinked when it comes to the real world application and are considered indispensable. The next related technology that considered as an application of AI is robotics. Using this, automation can be applied to more diversified and complicated tasks. Robotics is an interdisciplinary research area at the interface of computer science and engineering. Robotics involves design, construction, operation, and use of robots. The goal of robotics is to design intelligent machines that can help and assist humans in their day-to-day lives and keep everyone safe. The technological advancements and breakthroughs have impacted our daily lives in a very rapid way. One significant impact that has been observed ever since data analytics began is increased volume of data in a very rapid rate. That which was previously impossible is now possible for society. Hence, the potential dramatic changes in industrial and employment structures. It is also evident that the processing capacity has seen an exponential progress, which had made high performance computing much easier to accomplish. Now, both these factors have contributed towards seamless use of AI application. The hype around AI has produced many myths in mainstream media, in board meetings, and across organizations. Some think that AI is nothing more than a buzzword. It can also be noted that throughout the COVID-19 crisis, the majority of organizations have been maintaining or even increasing their investments in artificial intelligence. Hence, it becomes critical to demystify such notions. The first myth is that AI is an unnecessary luxury in times of the COVID-19 pandemic. AI is emerging as an important enabler of cost optimization and business continuity during the COVID-19 crisis. Contrary to the misconception that AI is an unnecessary luxury, when enterprises are struggling with cash flows and uncertain economic conditions, AI is generating revenue. It's improving customer interactions, analyzing data more quickly, generating early warnings about upcoming disruptions, and automating decision making. The next myth that prevails is that artificial intelligence and machine learning, abbreviated as ML, are the same and interchangeable. Well, if you see the evolution across different timelines, it is easier to comprehend this distinction. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Machine learning requires a well thought out training and data acquisition strategy. AI, on the other hand, is an umbrella term for a broad set of computer engineering techniques ranging from machine learning and rule-based systems to optimizing techniques and natural language processing. The third myth that is present in our minds, thanks to Hollywood, is that intelligent machines learn on their own. A finished machine learning product gives the impression that it is able to learn on its own. However, experienced human data scientists frame the problem, prepare the data, and determine appropriate data sets, remove potential bias in the training data, and most importantly, continually update the software to enable the integration of the new knowledge and data into the next learning cycle. Now, the myth number 4. Artificial intelligence can be 100% objective. Every AI technology is based on data, rules, and other kinds of input from human experts. Because all humans are intrinsically biased in one way or another, so is the AI. Systems that are frequently retrained, for example, using new data from social media, are even more vulnerable to unwanted bias or intentional malevolent influences. Now, the myth number 5. AI will only replace laborious jobs. Artificial intelligence enables businesses to make more accurate decisions via predictions, classifications, and clustering. These abilities have enabled AI-based solutions to reach deep into work environments, not only replacing the laborious tasks, but also augmenting those that are more complex. Take, for example, the use of imaging artificial intelligence in healthcare. A chest X-ray application based on AI can detect diseases faster than can radiologists. In the financial and insurance industry, robo-advisors are being used for wealth management and fraud detection. These capabilities don't eliminate human involvement in those tasks, but will eventually limit it to observing and dealing with unusual cases, adjust job profiles and capacity planning, and offer retraining options for the existing staff. The myth number 6 is that there are some businesses that do exist that does not need an AI strategy. Every organization should consider the potential impact of AI on its strategy and investigate how this technology can be applied to the organization's business problems. In many ways, AI exploitation is the same as foregoing the next phase of automation and could place enterprises at a competitive disadvantage. Even if AI is not an immediate fix to a problem, businesses should revisit the decision to not implement AI periodically. Organizations need to find appropriate use cases that leverage AI's power to augment human work, decisions, and interactions, as well as other functional innovation opportunities. In the next 4 years, 69% of what a manager currently does will be automated. In such a disruptive environment, enterprises need a reality check on how best they can integrate AI into their strategy and be ready for forthcoming disruptions. There has always been transitions in various processes, thus transforming economies at different industrial revolution stages. The first industrial revolution was the transition to new manufacturing processes, and this was between 1760 to 1840. The second industrial revolution was the phase of rapid standardization from the late 19th century to the early 20th century. The third industrial revolution had its beginning in the 1950s, and this revolution brought us the semiconductors, mainframe computing, personal computing, and the internet. The fourth industrial revolution is considered to be the new era, where a beginning is seen that builds and extends the impact of digitization in unanticipated ways. Now, the main question that lies before us is what's happening now in this era of fourth industrial revolution? And the answer is simple. All these technological advancements has brought many changes in our daily walks of life. You can see a shift from the mass production or uniform services to a very customized production or services based on individual needs. The most familiar one is the free matching of society's unused potential assets with the needs of individuals. Well-known examples are Uber and Airbnb. The next occurrence which is currently observed is the support of replacement of human labor, recognition, learning capability. Please note that this is not an absolute replacement but a support towards augmenting the task. Some of the examples are automated driving, delivery using drones, like I had alluded before, the creation of new services, shift to aftermarket services for products and goods are also happening now. A perfect example is the integration of purchase, payments, and logistics with the value-added services like insurance is a perfect example. And of course, all these has led the technology use in the revolution as a common foundational technology across all industries and allows for addressing new needs. There are two main strategies that the global players adhere to. Number one, the contribution from internet to the real world in terms of data, and from the real world to the internet. These two provide inputs to each other. For the first strategy, where there is a contribution from internet to the real world, there are some major players. Some of the examples are Amazon, Google, Facebook. All these players, they provide information to the real world through internet platform. And for the second strategy, the best examples are General Electric, IBM, Intel. These global players actually deduce information from the real world to the internet. When we talk about artificial intelligence and its role in the post-industrial society, it is important for us to highlight the changes taking place for human roles and work. There are several industries that aim to bring significant changes in human roles and at work, augmenting where required. It is important to note that the major players use both the strategies to implement this. For example, using automated unmanned taxi service will move towards a sustainable solution by contributing retention of public transport networks such as buses and metro services. However, a challenge that has to be addressed would be to provide measures for road traffic law, road transport vehicle law, and international conventions for automatic guided driving. Another example that can be highlighted here is the usage of drones in the construction industry. Using drones in the construction sites increase safety by allowing work on high-rise buildings, and the status of them could be viewed by photographs taken by these drones and stored in cloud storage. However, a challenge that has to be addressed would be to provide measures for issues such as flying beyond line of sight, long distance communication, collision prevention, and encouraging usage. There are numerous other examples like using AI to diagnose skin related diseases. Of course, that comes with a challenge of regularly reviewing the software that acts as a support service. As per the strategies followed by global players, it is quite important to appreciate the data utilization model. This is because data utilization is a source of added value in respect to the fourth industrial revolution. The first stage comprises of virtual data, where the data are generated from websites and online activities. The platforms are managed by global players like Google, Amazon, and Apple. Please note that the second stage of data will be quite specific and will comprise of confidential data. The second stage of data is the real data obtained from sensors, deduced from activities of companies as well as individuals. This could be a data on health information, travel, and operation on factories. Huge volume of data must be shared to compose big data with great advantage arising from corporate cooperation. Societal needs and communal issues which go beyond our capabilities can be addressed by utilizing innovative technology and data such as artificial intelligence. The current societal and structural issues facing the world are low birth rate and aging population, decline of regional economies, limited energy and environmental constraint, food issues, water issues, and other environmental issues. All these have framed and reduced the needs, emphasizing on smart life as shown in this image. The fourth industrial revolution will result in 5 million job losses by 2020. Disruptive global employment trends, including flexible working, the rise of other forms of automation, and big data analytics, will see over 5 million jobs disappear worldwide over the next 4 years. From a survey taken in the year 2018 by the World Economic Forum, the expected average reskilling needs across companies by share of employees for the period from 2018 to 2022 is shown. It is interesting to note that more than 50% of the employers have stated that reskilling is required, however, in different time spans. It's highly probable that middle skill, white collar jobs will decrease significantly, while such progress leads to filling the overall manpower shortage. Changes in the business processed in line with the fourth industrial revolution will bring about new employment needs, including middle skill workers. Therefore, it is necessary to develop human resources to to respond to changes in the employment structure and to shift the labor force to growth areas. We see a number of emerging areas of opportunity when it comes to the jobs of the future. One of these areas concerns, unsurprisingly, directly technology related jobs in fields such as data analytics and engineering. Another growth area where we see is in human centric roles such as childcare and elder care, but also in teaching. The most in demand jobs in 2017 didn't even exist 5 or 10 years ago. That pace of change is accelerating. An estimated 1.4 million US jobs will be disrupted in some ways by 2026, forcing workers to seek other work. Some of their skills will be transferable, others will not be. By one popular estimate, 65% of children entering primary school today will ultimately end up working in completely new job types that don't yet exist. So while there is opportunity ahead, there is also work to be done to capitalize on it. There is a critical and urgent need to step up workforce skilling. While implementing such scenarios and policies, it's important to have innovative solutions that are sustainable. Nowadays, the term sustainable development is getting its focus. In this image, you'll be able to see many ways of achieving sustainability. You see a solar panel that provides not just energy, but sustainable energy. The energy that's produced from renewable energy sources never deplete the natural resources. So let us define sustainability as avoidance of the depletion of natural resources in order to maintain an ecological balance. In a normal scenario, we can also say it as ability to maintain itself. You might think before 30 years or so, engineers were making things without concerning sustainable development. Then why has it gained importance in the recent times? The answer is simple, and you will be able to appreciate by looking at this chart. In the year 1960, the global population was about 3 billion. In 2010, the global population is around 7 billion. In 50 years, the growth is manifold. By 2050, it is projected to reach about 10 billion. When there is a growth in population, there is a huge demand that keeps on growing, which eventually pushes towards more production. The process of production certainly depletes the natural resources, and just think about the future generation. They will be left with little or no resources like water, air, etc. To overcome this situation, it has become important for engineers to put more emphasis on sustainable development. Then comes the question of how to maintain or achieve sustainability. It is always good to have a clear guideline, especially when it comes to sustainability. Sustainable Development Goals are a collection of 17 global goals set by the United Nations General Assembly in 2015. These goals, right from zero hunger to partnerships for goals, are clearly set by the United Nations, and of course, each nation will be able to prioritize these goals depending on their needs and challenges. You would have seen in the recent times there was a ban in India to use plastic bags, spoons, straws, and other one-time use plastics. The same was implemented in Botswana as well. From this, it's evident that the SDGs set by United Nations play a vital role in achieving these goals. Now, we as The professionals gathered in this forum have an important responsibility to find ways of achieving these goals. I assume we are a forum that has a budding engineer to a mature scholar, and we will be certainly engaged in some projects in the near future. Some of us might already be engaged in such projects. Our responsibility towards sustainable society will be partially achieved if we deduce the research objectives or problem statement from the SDGs. If you are an academician, do not hesitate to direct your students towards these SDGs, even if they are doing a mini project. With this, we will certainly be able to work towards achieving a sustainable nation. Artificial intelligence is at the center of a new enterprise to build computational models of intelligence. The main assumption is that intelligence, human or otherwise, can be represented in terms of symbol structures and symbolic operations which can be programmed in a digital computer. Artificial intelligence can dramatically improve the efficiencies of our workplaces and can augment the work humans can do. When AI takes over repetitive or dangerous tasks, it frees up the human workforce to do work they are better equipped for, tasks that involve creativity and empathy amongst others. AI can be used to solve an array of environmental problems such as climate change and natural calamities prediction. AI will also take over many hazardous jobs in the future. Artificial intelligence is already changing society at a faster pace than we realize. But at the same time, it is not as novel or unique in human experience as we are often led to imagine. Other artifactual entities such as language and writing, corporations and governments, telecommunication and oil have previously extended our capacities, altered our economies, and disrupted our social order. Generally, though not universally for the better. The evidence that we are on average better off for our progress is ironically perhaps the greatest threat we currently need to master sustainable living and reversing the collapse of biodiversity. To conclude, the key to successful shift to the phase of growth is to aggressively reform economic and social system that properly identify and drive technological innovation as Internet of Things, Big Data, Artificial Intelligence, which represent the fourth industrial revolution regardless of developed or developing countries. Like like I had mentioned already, I would be happy to get any questions emailed to me, and my email ID is src_suresh at yahoo.com. Once again, I thank the committee for this wonderful opportunity, and I would convey my best wishes to the other presenters and participants, and I'm sure that you will have memorable event ahead. Stay blessed. Hope to see you all in a different forum in a different place. Thank you.